What's up, y'all? This is KushiteMusic. I'm Kai, and I'm here with my homeboys. We're gonna review some music for you here today.
Just
Homeboys,
as a note, this
get
is
up
not
in
to be
here.
taken seriously because, well, it's supposed to be taken a little bit seriously, but we're not going to be, like, serious about reviewing music. My name's Emmett, by the way, as you can tell by the names. Chris is right there.
Well,
He's the awkward white one.
I'm Chris. Oh yeah.
And my name is
The
Max, and
the
that is all
awkward
you
white
shall know
kid.
about me.
Max the Pimp, who is
All
also
you
a drum set,
All you
who
shall
also
know about
happens to be
me
a
is
drum
that my
set,
name is Max.
and he's a pimp.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
All right. So this is our first episode,
And it's
episode
going
1,
to be terrible.
and we'll be here every Thursday here on our channel on YouTube. And
Wait, I thought we were doing this every Wednesday.
nah, man. Well, it's Thursday, isn't it? So
Oh, okay. Okay.
anyway, we're gonna review some shit here, some albums.
Oh, you're lagging
Oh,
out.
can I
Yeah,
describe the
Max,
albums?
do it.
Do it.
All right, so
All right, so we're
the
gonna be
first album
reviewing
we're gonna review.
We're gonna be reviewing two monumentally famous rock albums. One
Yes.
come out in the 70s, early 70s, beginning of heavy metal, Paranoid from Black Sabbath. And we
Yes.
shall be reviewing an album came out in the late 90s, early 2000s, American Idiot,
2004 to be exact.
Yeah, 2004.
Okay.
We know our stuff.
Okay, War Pigs, or Paranoid, I'm pretty sure came out in 1970.
No,
Yeah,
dude.
it did. Okay, so
Yeah, it was 1970.
So we're
Yes,
gonna
it was.
run this. We're all gonna talk about the album. First, we're gonna do Paranoid by Black Sabbath. We're gonna talk about what we think, and then
We all have
we'll
kind
say
of
what rating we
differing
give it.
interests in musics. So,
Yes.
alright.
Yes.
So,
All right, who wants
Yeah.
to go first? Who wants to
I
go
will-
first?
That should
Who
make
wants to
it
go first?
interesting.
right.
Okay.
So I'll go
what I
first.
should say is-
Go first.
Cause
Yeah, Emmett will
Hey,
go.
Emmett, I want to
was
hear
about
you.
to go
Emmett,
first.
I want to hear yours last. I want to hear
Okay.
I want to hear
Okay.
Emmett's
All right,
last.
I'll go first. Guys, I got this. Okay. So what I think, I just heard this album for the first time yesterday, and I pretty much just heard of Black Sabbath for the first time yesterday because knew we were going to review this. And this album is a classic. I mean, this is a great album. It's all 8 tracks are very listenable. It's not like, because I'm not a huge metal fan, so a lot of metal I just can't stand. I can't stand listening to, but this is a very listenable album, and even if you don't like metal at all, you'll love it.
you know what,
And
dude? I can
there are
agree with
3
that.
really
Like,
memorable.
I don't like metal that much,
Yeah.
but it's one of those things that's not just the entire time just like droning.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like
It's
listenable
and
to any.
my three favorite tracks on the album are War Pigs, Paranoid, and Iron Man, and those 3
Aren't those everyone's favorite 3 tracks?
probably some of the metal. What?
Aren't those everyone's favorite 3 tracks?
Well, yeah, pretty much. Those are the best on the album. So,
Alright, Max,
yeah,
you go
so,
next. We're just going down the line.
I would give it a
I'm
9
gonna-
out of 10. That's my rating for the album. It's a great album. Max, do you think?
I'll go next. Alright, I am a devout metal fan at heart.
As you can tell,
And
because he's a drum set.
This album, yes, and this album is Joey Jordison's, by the way, if you're wondering. And this album is like the beginning of, it's not the first metal album, but it's the beginning of amazing metal. And every track on this album, every track kind of goes into more of a classic rock type thing, but you can tell they were toward the more rebellious, screw the system, we're gonna be metal side.
Yeah,
Because
definitely.
they introed the album with a really long song, which no other band did at the time. And that's kind of a staple now in metal, which is kind of open up the album with a really good long song. And so you can tell they had so much influence on the metal genre, no matter what subgenre of metal it is, whether it be power metal or death metal, actually, like, they just had so much influence on every metal genre, and I think I'm gonna have to give this album a 9.75, maybe even a 10.
Dude, we're
Yeah,
taking this
that's
ridiculously
nearly
seriously
perfect.
right now. Alright, Chris, go ahead, because you're next in the line of what I see.
Alright, so I've heard of Black Sabbath before, I've heard some of their tracks, and this is the first time I've listened to this whole album, and it was just awesome. Like, War Pigs is just like one of the greatest intros to an album ever. And like Matt said, it was one of the first that's really long, and it's kind of been an icon ever since. It's like every metal album you listen to has a longer intro than any other song on the album, so it's great, man. I give it a 9.5 out of 10. So
Definitely.
Alright, so
what do you think, Emmett?
well, you're probably all gonna jump down my throats, but I thought it was good. I didn't think it was amazing, to be honest. I thought it was like good, but it wasn't something I'd want to just like listen to and just experience listening to it. It's something that I'd listen to while I'm doing something. It's like, and I really liked War Pigs. I think I like War Pigs the best from the entire thing. Thanks for totally interrupting me, Kai. That was like my whole thing. But yeah, it was really good. I just, and like you said, Kai, it was really listenable. It's not like most metal. I can't stand it, to be honest, because it's just so in your face, ridiculous. Yeah. But I really like this album, but I thought it was good. I didn't think it was great. So I guess I'd give it like 7 or 8 out of 10.
What?
And here's something we have to touch on. If we're talking Black Sabbath, we have to touch on this. Is Ozzy Osbourne the greatest? Is Ozzy Osbourne the greatest metal singer of all time?
No.
We have to touch on this if we're talking Paranoid.
Nope.
No.
End of discussion.
I don't agree either.
End of discussion.
He's an amazing singer. He's an amazing singer with a really unique voice.
The
greatest metal singers of all time. He's generally thrown in the conversation for that.
Yeah, I mean, I would put him in probably the top 3 even.
Yeah.
No, my top
Not
3
number
list
one.
is I'd have Bruce Dickinson from Iron Maiden, I'd have Joey Belladonna from Anthrax, and I'd have Ronnie James Dio, who is the Black Sabbath singer after Ozzy left.
No Dave Mustaine?
No, his I prefer the growly vocalists, so I like Dave Mustaine more. I like Dave Mustaine and Tom Araya more than those 3, but he's not as good a vocalist musically as those 3 are.
Yeah, I can understand that. That's a good point.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
I don't listen to metal, so I'm not going to put an opinion in here, except...
metal singers of all time?
I don't really listen to metal, but, I was listening to, some Metallica with Chris, and the singer, his voice is just really... It's, like, entertaining. It just sort of draws you in to listen, so I'm going to put that one out there.
Yeah.
Which album?
Master of Puppets.
Which album?
We're going to be reviewing that album. Master Puppets.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, and Justice for All. His voice was great in Justice for All.
To be clear, we're going to be more divided on American Idiot, so it's going to be a little less boring and more shouting at each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. This is great.
Speaking of, we should probably move on. You guys ready to move on?
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Wait. We gotta give Black Sabbath a final score on the Richter scale. We gotta average our scores out.
That's an inside joke.
We gotta average our scores out.
I think it's average. I think it's a 9. Did you guys give it a little above 9? And gave it below 9. I give it a 7.
Yeah, alright.
Alright, so
Black Sabbath 9 out of 10.
Alright.
You heard it from the best, dog. You heard it from the best. 9 out of 10.
Alright.
Alright, let's go on to American Idiot.
American Idiot.
Okay, yes.
I'm gonna introduce this one. And then it's gonna
Alright,
go
you do
Chris,
that.
and then Max, and then Kai.
Oh,
So
put me last, bro.
well, I'm just going by line that's on my screen. So I really like Green Day, and they sort of get flack because they became so popular, and just like everyone listened to them, and people just started saying they're overrated just because everyone was listening to them, and some of their stuff is overrated, but I generally, as a rule, I really like them, except for their new series of albums, the 3 albums that came out recently. Those are kind of blue. But American Idiot, most people say that's like past their prime and stuff, but I really liked it. I think that's one of their best albums, actually. It was a fine album all the way through, and it had a lot of like gems. Like Homecoming is probably my favorite Green Day song ever. I freaking love that song, dude.
Yeah.
And if I had to rate it, just initial rating, I'd probably go 8 or 9 out of 10. That was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Chris?
Alright, who's next? Chris?
Alright, so I'm not a huge fan of Green Day, but you know, they're pretty good. I like that kind of music, and I definitely think this was not one of their best albums. They, in my opinion, are past their prime in this album. Dookie, was definitely their best album, but yeah.
I will call it Dookie forever.
Okay, so anyway, I mean, it had a couple of good tracks, like, I personally like Holiday, that's a pretty good song.
It's a great song,
but just, it wasn't there, like, they just didn't have that sound that they did in Duke E. So, I don't know. I give it, like, a 6.5 or 7 out of 10.
That's rough.
What? Are you kidding? I'll wait my turn.
Alright, is it my turn? Is it my turn?
Wait my turn, and then I'll bash you. Okay.
We bashed the fuck.
Whose turn is it?
Max, you go.
Do you think?
My turn?
Yes.
Okay, so is Green Day considered punk rock?
Alternative.
Alternative slash
rock.
punk slash whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot.
Okay, so
Big jump.
Green Day are kind of, my understanding of Green Day as a band in general are punk with a new, more modern, kind of more radio-friendly sound to them. You know, like they took kind of the 70s punk and they kind of modernized it and made it more radio-friendly, a bit more alternative.
Yeah, what
so
what I heard though,
what
wait, I'm gonna stop you right there. I'm just gonna say on their new series of albums, they had a lot of like Clash-esque riffs. So they had a lot of the sort of really like recognizable guitar riffs that seemed to be like from the Clash and stuff. And that was pretty nice. And I feel like they take a lot from the Clash and other like 80s and 70s punk bands. So yeah, go ahead.
exactly.
So,
Yeah, so to go
on
on with my point, I haven't finished yet. Not even close.
It was that song.
And I believe Green Day, this album I kind of put in the same boat as And Justice for All from Metallica. It's not, it has some good songs on it, like it's got some gems on it, but at the same time, the stuff that it's surrounded by is just terrible. Like,
Dude.
The surrounding meat around the potatoes was just terrible.
That is an excellent analogy. I don't agree with your point, but that is an excellent analogy.
Are you kidding me?
But there were some gems on it, but overall, the stuff around it was just really kind of. I'm trying to think of a word for it. I don't want to come and call it mediocre. That's a word for it. It was just really mediocre stuff.
Did you just call that?
Like, and
Bro,
I believe that
you're upsetting me right now.
they made a good album with Dookie. So Dookie was a Dookie. I will call it Dookie forever. And Dookie was a great album, but they really didn't do a very good job of following it up at all. And on Emmett's point about how people said Green Day are overrated because everyone listens to them. I mean, like, the reason I think Green Day is overrated is because there are so many other punk rock bands that don't get nearly as much credit as Green Day, especially in the United States.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
I see that point, but
Yeah.
Green Day they're still a great band. It doesn't matter that they're taking the spotlight from
Oh,
other
dude, you're lagging out
bands.
like
They're
shit.
still a great band that they made.
Yeah.
All right.
Alright.
So my final score for this album, I think Chris hit the nail right on the head. You know, a 7 about does it.
That is incorrect, sir.
You just
Is what that is.
stabbed me in the back. All right, it's my turn.
Kai, it's your turn.
Okay,
Do that.
this
Do that
album
thing.
is arguably my favorite alternative album of the 21st century. I mean, this album is just great. It has so many good songs. If you go down all the lists, all the songs are very listenable. I mean,
Hold up,
none
let's
of
get
them
this.
are horrible, as Max said. They're a great band who produced a great album. This is up there with Dookie. I mean, I think this might be a better Dookie. People are gonna probably hate
Dude,
me for
hold on.
this,
I'm just gonna listen to this
but
right
I mean,
now.
my
Dude, hold
favorite
on.
song on this album is Holiday, and so American Idiot's a great song. What's Her Name's a great song. St. Jimmy's a great song. She's a Rebel's a great song.
Kai, shut up
You're
for a
stopping
second.
me on my praise.
Right, I'm going to read off the songs on this album. So American Idiot was good. Wasn't my favorite, but it was good. Jesus of Suburbia was really good. Boulevard of Broken Dreams. That was good. I feel like I just listened to it so much.
Left a little to be desired, I guess.
Right. When I was young, I listened to that so much. I guess I've really grown old with that one. Holiday, really good song. Are We the Waiting? That's a good song. It changes pace a bit, and I like it.
That one.
Yeah.
Because
go ahead.
It's more of a slow song, and an album needs that.
Yeah, it breaks it up. It's good. Saint Jimmy. Don't even remember that song in the slightest. I'm sorry. Give Me Novocaine. I like that a lot. It was, again, another slower song. I liked it a lot. It was good. It was chill. She's a Rebel. Oh man, that's a really good one. She's a Rebel is a really good one. That's one of my personal favorites. Don't mind me dying. I'm good. Extraordinary Girl. Ooh, that was a good one. Letter Bomb. It's decent, I suppose. Wake Me Up When September Ends was good. Homecoming was excellent. Was really, really, really good.
Yes.
What's Your Name was very good.
That's probably my second favorite on the album.
Yeah, non-album tracks, Too Much Too Soon, Shoplifter and Governator that no one's heard, but they're still pretty good. And so that leaves one or two that's like not as good as the rest. So Max and Chris, you're wrong. End of story.
You are.
No.
Your argument is invalid.
I really disagree right now.
All the songs that he
if you want a really good
songs.
If you want
there's no like bad songs.
There's not
like,
a single
if you
song
want a good benchmark,
there's like pretty good songs, and then
this
there's really
album
good
is
songs.
not that good.
Except that
I don't think. I think there are gems on this album. that are
No,
good songs.
What you think
But
of as gems among like bad songs, they're like
Alright,
pretty good songs, and then there are really good
so
songs,
tell me,
and
Max,
overall that makes
Max,
that album really good.
Max.
no, I quite honestly disagree. I put this in the boat of one of the albums that made it to the front page of stuff for the wrong reasons. Like, there were some amazing punk, even though I don't like punk rock, but there were some amazing punk albums
This is
in the
not
70s.
punk rock.
Amazing.
This is.
It sort of is.
But anyway,
It
there were
takes
amazing
alternative more
punk
than
rock
punk.
albums in the 70s, and this album just
This
does not live
album was
up to
released in
it.
2004. You can't be
But
comparing
it doesn't
this
live up to the
to
stuff in this.
those.
But
It's not
Kai, it
supposed
doesn't
to.
live up to the stuff in the 70s. It
Well-
doesn't live up to the stuff in the 70s, but it
Well, I
gets
mean,
so
it
much more
takes
credit.
elements. It takes elements from the sort of music going on in the 70s and 80s, the punk
It was
thing.
influenced. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
and then
Emmett is saying,
and
he's
then
got
it
a great
does something different than what was going on then. I mean, there are
I'm pretty sure
similarities.
this is considered punk,
more.
though.
Yeah, all right, I'd say that. But
The
you
genre doesn't
listen.
really matter.
I'm gonna
but-
use like Clash as a staple for punk rock in the 70s and 80s, but like you compare the Clash and Green Day, and you can hear similarities there, but there's a ton of innovation between point A and point B, and they do really well with it, and it's just a good album, and you're wrong. End of story.
That
I-
was just
I
put it exactly.
I disagree so
how it's
much
supposed to be.
with this album. It just
All right. Name songs.
Chris, back me up here. I need someone else who can.
Alright. So, in my opinion, this album, okay, it did have some good songs. I liked Holiday a lot, and that's a pretty good song by them. I'm not gonna lie. It has a couple of good songs.
One of their greatest.
But like, name some songs that are like bad, that are actually bad on this album.
No, Emmett.
Yeah.
The rest of the songs, they're just kind of fillers, like to just fill up the rest of the album.
Exactly.
Except that
I see where you're getting at. I mean, if you kind of have a good point in your argument because you don't like the album. That's something I guess that you could say about it. But the tracks that you say are fillers, those
still
are
good.
also good songs. They're still good, even if they're filler tracks. They're still good songs that I would listen to a lot.
Yeah, like give me one song on that album.
All right, guys. Time out. I found something. Here we go on the internet. Punk rock is a rock music genre that developed between 1974 and 1976. Yada 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 yada. Punk bands created fast, hard-edged music, typically with short songs, stripped-down instrumentation, and often political, anti-establishment lyrics. Yada 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 yada. By the start of the 21st century, pop punk has been adopted by the mainstream, with bands such as Green Day and The Offspring.
Okay.
Alright,
It
that
doesn't
sounds about
matter what type of music they are.
The Offspring, dude, that's a good band. That's a really good band.
I didn't listen to them.
Back to Green Day. It doesn't matter whether they're a punk band or not. They're still one of the greatest rock whatever of this decade. I mean, and in the 90s. The 90s stuff, yes, it was better, but American Idiot is still, I think, in their top two albums in that and Dookie. So I still, to rate this album, I'd have to give this album a 9.5 out of 10. It's a great album.
Alright, but Chris and
That's
Max,
crazy. You put this album higher than Paranoid. That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's Chris and Max.
I like it.
That
more
is
than
some
Paranoid.
serious stuff.
Name-
That is serious stuff
Name
right
a song on this
I
album
like it more.
that is actually bad. There's like no song in this album that's
Yeah.
actually bad to listen to.
There's-
There are songs that are better than others.
All right,
but
let me rephrase this. They're not bad. They're not bad songs, but they're just
Except that that's
mediocre
exactly what you
stuff.
said.
Like that's. All right, let me rephrase this then. They're just really, really mediocre. Like they're kind of flatline, and to be quite honest with you, they're actually quite boring.
Yeah,
And they
that's
seem a
what
lot
it
more
is.
like radio hits than actual
Dude, no,
songs.
I think we might need to listen to this,
Dude,
like, all together,
yeah,
and I can
we
just put it in
put-
on the video.
Alright, put some tracks on, okay?
I will do
Okay,
this.
so
No, we
I
might
think-
get copy. We might get copyright. Don't do that. We might get copyright.
No, just play it just play it right now. Play one song. Play Holiday. I mean,
No, we're gonna get
No,
copyright. That's a
no,
gem. That's a gem. That's a good song.
That's a
Okay.
good song.
Okay. Now tell me one of the songs that you think is mediocre.
Jesus of Serbia.
Let me bring up the album
Suburbia,
list. Let me
guitar.
bring up the album list.
Dude, Jesus
what I
of
said.
Suburbia is good, though. It's, like, really good.
That's a good
no,
song.
it's not.
It is.
That's
Yes, it is. No, it's a. Alright, so they open the album with American Idiot, which is a complete jam. I mean, that is a loud song, and it gets you pumped up for this album. And then that's the second track of the
That's
album.
actually a
Jesus
good
of
song.
Suburbia.
That's actually a good song.
Then that
not gonna
Jesus
lie,
of Suburbia
that's-
comes in, and it's really long, but it has the hard rocking parts that you just heard in American Idiot, and then it slows down at times too, and kind of mellows out things to appeal to people who aren't so big of fans of the loud sound. I mean, that's not a filler song. That is a song that leads up, that makes way for the rest of the album and defines the album. I think that song is a great definition of the album if you listen to that song, because it has the hard rock points that a lot of the songs on the album has, and it has the slower spots that a lot of the album has.
Yeah.
Just a rant about that song.
Dude, and also Homecoming is in that same book, and it sort of took a page from Bohemian Rhapsody, where it has the several definite sections, and they've all got very different moods, and it merges together really well. They put it together, and it just sounds good, and so some points listening to it, you might start feeling like really depressed and like, oh my god, life is terrible. And then get to that one song, they get to that one part in the song, and it's just like, you can tell all the bandmates are just having fun playing it, and
It's
it's,
very listed.
oh, it's really good. Where's Max, by the way?
Here's one bad problem I have with Jesus of Suburbia.
All right.
It's
Lay it on.
9 minutes long. Why is it 9 minutes long?
So
War
is like,
Pigs, 8 minutes
so
long.
is like half of all metal
Yeah, but-
music made.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
but
the
dude,
bands
a lot of metal. Yeah, but there's music that repeats stuff a lot, and there's music that's done well, and you can tell, like, wow, that did not feel like 7 minutes long. But this Jesus of Suburbia feels like it's longer than 9 minutes. It
Not
feels like
at
it's
all.
13 minutes.
No, guys.
And you kind of just go, and you just kind of go,
Let's hear
wow,
Chris out,
it's
'cause he's
dragging
quiet, and that
way
has to
out
happen.
there.
Let Chris say something.
It drags out, like it just drags, and you can't.
I mean,
wait
yeah,
until
you
the
have a
song
point.
comes on.
At the end, it feels like that song is a little bit too long. But once you've heard the entire song, I feel like it's a powerful song. It's really saying, "Damn, that was a good song." It's not like, "Oh yeah, that was a long song." That's just bad. I don't think that's a problem.
No, that's exactly what it feels like.
Yeah.
We have a
to you,
difference of
but-
opinion here. I think we should actually average the who's a calculator built in their computer, because I don't want to record the calculator.
I do.
I have my
Alright,
phone.
so I give it let's
Alright.
go a 9 for me. Chris, what do you give it?
I give it a 6.75.
Dude, just stick to real numbers.
Okay, sorry. I'll just.
No, here's our album grading system. It's you have every number from 0 to
So
10.
point
Except
2.5.
you can
go
here are the numbers you
from
can use. You can
increments
use
of
0.
0.25.
You can use 0.25. You can use 0.5, 0.75, and 1. And then it's like that. You can use 0.25,
Right, we get the
0.5,
point,
and
Max.
0.75, but that's it.
Yeah,
We get the point.
we
Okay,
get the point. Okay, so
Emmett, you
Emmett
gave
gives it a 9.
Right.
Chris gives
I
it a
give it a
6.75.
Max.
I give it a 7.
Okay. Okay, and I give it a 9.5.
That is an average rating of 8. Like rounded out 8.
Okay,
It's 8.06.
that's reasonable.
It's
That's
better than
reasonable
8,
for
bro.
a total.
It's better than 8.
Yeah, it's
Alright,
better than 8.
8.5
It's
for
worse
Metallica.
than 8. It's
It's a lot worse than 8.
Alright, so...
it's worse
people.
than 8, yeah.
Alright, well, we
Oh,
can
you
call that
kidding
an
me.
episode.
Kidding me right now.
So, that was...
I think that was a
That's what
good
we're
first
gonna
episode.
do.
That was a good first episode.
Yeah, that was a good, lead
That's what
into
we're gonna do. Wait,
here.
you guys, we're still
It's good.
recording. We have to say goodbye to everyone who's not going to watch.
No, hold on.
Okay.
We have to tell them what we're gonna review next week. What are we gonna review next week?
Yeah.
Oh, I got it. I got it right here.
The
Hi has the
Next
paper.
week we'll be reviewing Lex Hives by the Hives and
My personal
Master of
favorite.
Puppets by Metallica.
Yeah.
So
Both
it's gonna be
really good
interesting.
albums, and Lex Hives by the Hives
I think
is
there's
like
not
one of
gonna
my
be as much-
favorite albums right now, and I'm not going to take any criticism whatsoever, even if it's well founded. Anyway, that's Kushite Music Reviews.
Alright,
I suppose
that was
the name is
KushiteMusic
ridiculous.
episode 1.